Okay, call the meeting to order for Monday, December 9th, 2024, town coronation, 7:15. We have an agenda in front of us. Is there anything to add?
Nothing from administration.
It's bad. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks.
I noticed it coming in.
I'll move the agenda is presented.
Do we need to have another in camera? Or stuff that was myself and you about, you see there's a check in there about it now that has never been brought to council,
Yes,
so add a
that'll be
add an in camera. Thanks. Mark, you want to move with
The addition, yes.
motion? Okay, all in favor? Okay. 3.1 minutes of November 25th, 2024. Anybody see anything? Wrong in there?
Didn't.
I didn't see anything, so I can move the minutes as submitted.
All in favor? Carried. Of point one RCMP. Quarter two of 2024. Hello,
Thank you for having me.
coming.
My name's Jeremy Hool. I attempted to come to a previous meeting, but it was adjourned. Just to more introduce myself. I've been here for about 3 months now. I spent a lot of time, I guess the detachment had been without a commander for about a year. So just kind of catching up, making sure administrative, it was up to standard and members were receiving their mandatory training. I was fortunate to have the previous commander had everything in order, so it was relatively smooth for me. Things been going well. I just sent our quarterly update to Quentin, which has been in parts kind of been level with previous years. Through the summer months, there was an uptick in traffic by members, which is something I've encouraged mostly just to get police presence out in the area. So I mean, it comes with traffic, but it also bad guys see the police out there and about. So there's a direct correlation with property crime based on traffic. We're going to be launching body worn cameras throughout the RCMP in Alberta here. It's going to be starting, it started, and in coronation concert, we should be all wearing body worn cameras in late spring, early summer, I think it should be. The detachment here is set up for them. It's just a matter of the rollout and having them sent out to us. Speaking of the detachment, everything has been approved. The district has approved the building of the detachment. And my understanding is funding's in place. I'm not sure the status of that right now. Recently, there was a fire at Toefield Detachment. They may have leapfrogged us up the ladder to detachment, right?
That's what it takes.
So
Didn't say that publicly.
yeah. So I've been working, I guess, with the provincial building as far as sprucing up the detachment we got here. They're going to be installing some flooring here in the new year, and some new furniture will be coming in. So yeah, I'm not sure. The assistant district commander is supposed to be in town tomorrow with Danko Staff Sergeant Pike, just to see the detachment and kind of get a feel for the area, I guess. So I can quiz them a little bit more about that, but they've approved it.
A little small.
Yeah.
So cramped.
Yeah.
So
Just no place to hold anybody. That was always an issue too, right? So.
yeah, we had been going over to concert, but they did an upgrade there, their half-life, but it also did not pass a lot of the security standards. So their cells are not in operation either right now. So
Off to Stetler again.
Off to Stettler, yeah. And then that's just happened this afternoon. We had somebody in Castor arrested on an outstanding warrant and we ended up having to transfer him to Stettler. So it is burdensome on our members just to
You're already in Castle, you're kind of just about halfway there, but.
yeah, it's still that extra time to get there and then come back and
Takes,
Just take you out of the area too.
comes out of the area, yeah.
yeah. That being said, we are at full staff right now. We've got a full complement of members, sergeant and 4 constables. We've got one of 2 PSEs, but a second has been hired and she'll start in January.
Good. That's coming pretty quick too.
Yeah.
So do you notice any different when you're policing with the camera on, or have you worked with the camera on?
Not a body worn camera,
Yeah.
but I've worked with say in each vehicle's got the WatchGuard camera system. It's got its benefits. There's been a lot of studies shown that the camera helps members feel more confident in their own skills. Members are trained to a certain standard and are sometimes hesitant without the cameras because of the recourse that they'd feel from the public.
He says, she says.
Yeah, now with the cameras, members can rely on their training and feel confident knowing that they're not going to feel that recourse quite as much because it's on camera.
The public consultation tool, anybody can go on there,
Yeah, and that's
their website too, or?
yeah, it's on the RCMP website. It's open to the public. I haven't explored that too much, but my understanding is you go on there and provide feedback and just direction, what you feel.
Good. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I think there's less stuff going on than there was like 4 years ago,
Oh,
3 years ago.
I think it's a little quieter for me.
I hate to step too far ahead, but I mean, it comes in waves.
I was just
So
gonna.
yeah.
Not,
You know what happens?
Christmas wave or something, but
We're constantly trying to adapt. We've got some bay projects in place. We had a motion activated camera out on one of the lease sites and we just moved it. And then that lease site was hit that night. So
yeah,
it's you kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing.
Yeah.
We continually adapt to what we feel is necessary and it works for a little while and then
Yeah.
a lot of criminal activity, they kind of catch on to what we're doing.
I was just gonna say, I think maybe they're
and
watching.
you have to change your technique or where you're at.
Yeah, and then that works for a little bit and kind of it's an ongoing cycle. Like I said, it comes and goes in waves.
And different people coming in or starting to do stuff in the area have a different technique, and then you adjust to what they're doing, so.
Yeah, we found with some of the bay projects, one of them actually ended up in Red Deer. So I mean, it's something where the bigger communities, the bigger centers, they realize that the restraints of the police out in these rural areas and
Yeah.
how big the spaces are, so they've got a little bit more freedom to come and go too, so.
Yeah.
They've been targeting us a bit more.
But if you're a newcomer in the area, you kind of stick out.
Very true, yeah.
But, no, I'd like to thanks for all the work you do. Does anybody have any other? No.
So is the DARE program still going through the RCMP or?
The DARE program is not a thing anymore.
Isn't?
We do have a school liaison officer. He's kind of in charge of the schools but he also assigns duties to different members. So each member will kind of be assigned a school and go and provide a presentation or do whatever. We've got an officer lunch with an officer program going on right now. We've got members in the school the first Wednesday of every month, I think it is, for lunch with the classes.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's under a different name, but they're still doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Youth's very important. We interact with them all the time, so we're really concentrate on making sure we have positive interactions with the youth.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Good.
I'll provide updates, quarterly updates from the districts comes out. I send that off to Quentin. I can present those in person if you like. Quentin will let me know if that's what you'd prefer. But
I'd like to have people come to me.
I'm available to come to council meetings or receive feedback if there's anything that's needed.
You're available.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Absolutely. I'll liaise with Quentin.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good night. Does somebody accept that as information?
Make a motion.
Cody accepts his information, all in favor? Carried. Old business, 8.1.
Yeah, I talked about this in the budget meeting. Do you guys want me to do the presentation of it, or do you want me to just go through the notes here, or?
Just go through the notes.
Like you had a PowerPoint you were gonna do.
I do, if you want it. Up to you guys.
And it being just interim, I don't know if it's that necessary, but.
Whichever's quicker. I hit the notes here quick.
Yeah.
So as far as things go for the 2025 interim budget, we're not looking at obviously a mill rate increase at this point because we don't have information provided from provincial government or federal government on grant subsidies or income and revenue. We also have a lot of outstanding invoices that are still coming and getting paid, so we're still kind of finalizing up numbers. So as we move forward, a little bit better in February is kind of where we kind of know where the full numbers are at after everything's kind of been settled and put away. As well as we'll be doing our audit this year in February instead of March. So we're gonna have an early audit this year. Hopefully that'll help get our audit back to council in a bit quicker manner. We have seen an increase in the LGFF for the next couple of years. So we are anticipating about a $340,000 to $370,000 average over the next 3 years for revenues through provincial support.
Hadn't they told us next year was gonna be down?
2026 will be less,
2026.
20% less than 24. So we actually get less in 26 technically than we do this year, so. Which is okay, because apparently that's gonna be revisited here, hopefully for the 27 year, and they may readjust to 26 depending on how things go. LGFF operating has been permanently doubled as far as things go, so we'll be looking at 120,000 income on that moving forward. Canada Community Building Fund, CCBF, federal gas tax. Sounds like that may be doubled. There's no guarantees at this point. They haven't released any information, so we're banking on the regular 52,000 that we're going to be receiving for that. So as far as Alberta education, there hasn't been any indication that there will be an increase. It'll probably maintain the same. Painters Lodge, I've heard that there may be a slight decrease in that. There are a lot of the renovations have come to an end, so they're kind of doing really well. So again, we'll know more right away. This is usually about when we get that information. The strategic plan for the town council will review that next year as well. So that will see, make sure that we're aligning with the council's goals and vision. Flying around my face here. And as far as things go, we don't have any major capital expenditures as of yet, but once we get into the 2025 year discussion, we'll probably be looking at, based on what we discussed in the budget meeting here, we'll probably be looking at a swimming pool or ice plant for rec. For public works, probably be looking at a grader replacement possibly, or truck replacement possibly, depending on cost. So a bit more information and resources have to be provided in order to make those decisions. So that'll be for the 25 budget. So we'll try and bring some of that back in the next budget meeting, and I believe it's scheduled for January 15th. I think we'll have to double check that date. Basically, we'll start bringing that information back as much as possible, so we give council as much information as we can. Water consumption has slowly decreased. We have found a few water leaks that have been fixed, so our loss in water is more what the actual gains are here for us. So we have seen not a dramatic drop, but we have seen a decrease that's been pretty good for us. The 2025 year, we'll also be looking at the recycling program through the provincial government. That'll pay for all of our recycling. So instead of us paying the E360 bill, they'll be paying the E360 bill directly. So we're just in the finalization portions of that for getting a contract signed and getting that program set up. So over either the next year we'll be paying for it and we'll get reimbursed, or we're looking at the other alternative right now is where they just take it over and they just deal with it.
Is that for all of the E360 or just the recycle part?
This is the recycling portion. So And that program will be directly administered by the provincial government. So it's called Circular Materials. We'll take over that project, so that'll hopefully drop our costs down a little bit as well. The water meter project that will be coming to an end as of January 1st, so we won't be paying for people's water meters to be replaced. We are at this point now down to the last, I believe, 5. If those properties don't switch over, it'll be a cost to them, around $600 a pop. The hopeful progression of that would be that we maintain the budget as is right now until we get more information. Would include keeping the mill rates at the same. We are anticipating a 4% assessment increase next year, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. We don't have, hopefully those numbers will be a little more solid once we get to March. And that'll also depend on after the assessments are completed. So hopefully we can bring that back right away. So that is the quick short synopsis of that. The 25 interim budget PowerPoint and the actual interim budget numbers are all there for council's review as they happened since November 4th. Any questions?
No, I think we went over most of it in that. Just need a motion to accept the interim budget.
Maybe I'll just add one more thing just because we are broadcasting. So there are still quite a few things that haven't come forward, like staffing changes that are going to affect this. So the disclaimer that I'll throw onto this for everyone that's listening is that these aren't, the interim budget numbers aren't concrete at this point until May, until the actual budget's passed.
We just have to have it in place to
Exactly.
go into January.
Need something to,
So you can spend money in Jan.
we're going to continue these conversations. So hopefully we'll have a couple more budget meetings, not just one more, but a couple more, and then we can have that a lot better for next year. Okay, sorry.
I'll make the motion that we accept the interim budget as presented, so we continue operating in the new year.
Accept the interim budget as presented, all in favor? 28.2, 2025 cost of living adjustment.
Okay, so I kind of touched on this a little bit last council meeting, but we would be seeking 2.5% COLA adjustment for the 2025 year. We will have a decrease in staffing wages. We currently at the numbers of the staff that we have, so we have 8 technically, but we are going to be having to hire on a 9th person here. So right now with the 8, we are looking at 154,000 reduction, but we'll probably have to cut that in half at least for a new hire for Public Works. But in stating that, we would still be less than what we were the previous year. With the cost of inflation right now, the average right now is 2.5% is what I had pulled out on for the 2020 October 2024 to October 2020. Sorry, October 2024, November 2024 period. It was sitting at around 2.5%. Yeah, so I did provide council with a bunch of information there on the salary breakdowns with the percentage changes, and then as well as the benefits and then the total cost as well. So in total, we'd be looking at right now would be $16,311 with a 2.5% increase overall.
And this starts in 2025.
2025, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
But we did
We discussed
mention
it
too that that
before.
would change a little bit once you hire the other
Right,
person.
yeah, it'd probably go up.
But it won't be a huge substantial.
So again, that's based on the 8, not 9.
Well,
Like I said,
I know everything has went up already, everything else. So.
well, I know we still have some attracting staff as it is, and we also need to keep what we have. Yeah. So that being said, I would honor a motion to give them the 2.5.
Brett moves to give 2.5 on COLA for 2025. All in favor? Carry. Property not sold at public auction, 8.3.
Okay, so at the budget meeting, this was also discussed where at the 2024 October 15th auction, we had 4 properties on for sale. These properties are delinquent over 3 years or more. And with that, the recommendation to council would be to acquire 3 of them and not to retain a 4th. The 3 properties that would be recommended are trailer units with lots, and then the 4th would be a commercial business that at this time would not be recommended for council to take over. The properties, sorry, and 2 of the properties are residential trailer and 1 is an industrial commercial site or industrial site. And then 1 is a commercial. The commercial site right now would be the one that we recommend that council doesn't acquire. But the other 3 we would require, or we would recommend that council take over at this time.
I'll make a motion, we take over the 3, not the one we don't want.
The commercial.
Yeah.
We would take 1, 3, and 4. Not number 2. All in favor?
Okay.
Okay. Ones you've recommended.
Yeah, I just wondering, do we have to make this decision tonight is all? I would have just liked to seen what some of the costs were gonna be to clean them up before we. I think that it's a good idea that we maybe do it, but I just kind of wanted to know what the cost might be to clean them up.
What I could do now that I know that those are the 3 that we would like to look at taking over, I can get that information as well right away, but with the motion, that's
You wanted us to acquire them before you
correct.
information, so.
Yeah, I don't
Those portions.
think that's right, the right way to do it, so,
We know it's gonna be
That's
10 to
what some of them
15.
were, By what we've done with other ones.
yeah. I don't see why we couldn't have got an estimate to get what the cost would have been to clean them up before we make this motion, so.
What I can do before we submit the title transfer, I can make sure I get that information to you. And then if we have to, we could always come back and rescind the motion if needed. That works.
Well, we passed the motion, so. If in the future we want to rescind it, we can, but
Yeah.
we passed it now, so.
Which I'll provide that information beforehand, just for information.
You said I was basing it based on what it's cost us and other ones.
New business 9.1. Funding partnership with the Red Deer River Watershed Alliance.
This has been brought up in past as well. Council did pay last year. And it was, so the total contribution would be about $430 for this year. So basically what this organization does is they educate about the watershed where our water comes from for the Red Deer River. They help create biodomes, it creates programs to prevent that watershed from getting damaged, and they also help create awareness of that watershed so that people know where that water is going, and so that we can make sure that we're always getting clean drinkable water as clean as possible. So they do a lot of public engagement, a lot of education pieces, and they also try and do partnerships with municipalities and making sure that conversations always had to making sure that watersheds as much as possible. They do have a few professors that sit on that board that actually use it in universities, and they actually help do studies with that watershed quite regularly.
I make a motion that we support support the watershed by contributing our $430 for the upcoming year.
Mark makes a motion that we fund the Red Deer River Watershed Alliance. All in favor? Okay. 2, membership in the Veterans Memorial Highway Association.
Okay, so the mayor and I attended the Veterans Memorial Highway Association meeting last week and learned
Central Region.
Central Region. Nice. Basically what they're trying to do is raise awareness for Highway 36 corridor all the way up into Fort Mac, I believe.
And they're trying to get interest again because during COVID, they basically quit.
Yeah, so they're trying to make this corridor from the border of the
Montana border,
Montana border.
Highway 4, and then Highway 36 up.
So along that, what they're trying to do is increase local tourism attractions and make people aware of it. County of Painter has a new museum, by the way, just Tyrell Museum, apparently in County of Painter. It's not big at all. They do a little bit of economic development, but they also work with our REITs. So we have RETA, so that'd be PEP, grade, and then also, I don't remember the north one.
And what they wanna do, of course, it's Highway 36 is the main thing, but they also wanna know other highways, like secondary highways in your region, if there's needs work done, let them know. If it's a dangerous spot where you think there are gonna be accidents or whatever, they really wanna know that, and if you've had accidents, they want you to let them know to have a record of it, so they, you know, and one thing we said, well, Highway 36 right out there where it meets Highway 12, there's that coming from the north, you can make that first corner, but if you're going too fast with a big truck, you tip over on the second. And it's only time till it tips over when somebody's there. You know,
They should have staggered it on Highway 12.
yeah, or should have done something different, but it hasn't really. And another thing was mentioned through where you go through the Battle River there. If you have a large load, they're stopping all the traffic on the south side and the north side because it's too narrow down there. And that can be quite a bit of traffic stopped up there sometimes, which is probably a lot safer, but they didn't know anything about that if there's anything they can do down there to fix that up, so.
And they are working with Métis settlements and First Nations as well, in the northern parts, so they're trying to make sure that there's awareness of those road and corridor highways as well. The other thing that they're working on is trying to conglomerate all the issues together so that and trying booking meetings with the Minister of Transportation regularly. So it's not independent municipalities going, it's a conglomerate group of municipalities going in and talking to the minister about the whole corridor. And I believe that this is also one of those projects that goes through 40 Mile County and Cypress County in that area as well. So it does have a lot of merit and a lot of eyes on it right now because there is some expansion is over, I believe, $900 million worth of road expansions happening down in the south right now. So they're trying to make awareness of this use of highways so that more of the heavy loads come this way versus on Highway 2 or Cowboy Trail on the other side. So.
And they have their booklet that, you know, when they reprint it, you'll be able to get your town in and a blurb about it. Plus you also be able to get advertisements. They're gonna look at that. So if you have, or, you know, if you have tire shops or, you know, garages that might be, we're a little further from Highway 36, but they also do it onto 12. And you can put anything like on their website, you can put like our town, we could have what, you know, when we're having the dance festival, the music festival, the rodeo, the fair, the, you know, any of these here, because they're also trying to promote tourism out into these areas.
Our contribution request from them would be $130.20 for our 2025 year membership. So that's based on a 15 cents per capita off of 868 population.
I think that's doable.
It's quite reasonable, and they actually we've got some of those pamphlets around here someplace that they had.
Yeah, I got some in here.
Well, I'll make a motion that we join in on this too for $130.
Join Veterans Memorial Highway Association, all in favor? Okay, opposed? Okay. Reports, council reports.
I don't have anything, couple meetings got canceled, so I got a couple coming this week. One thing, can you check with Barry and find out when minor sports and arena board are?
Meetings, yeah.
Yeah, because I think those are the two I got put on after Matt signed, and I have no idea when those meetings are.
Okay, I will text them right now.
Okay. Other than that, yeah, no, I think, town's done good with the snow removal with the volunteer help we had the first Sunday after that big snowstorm, and then thanks to the county for providing a grader and an operator that one time for that one snowfall, and then now that our grader's up and running, hopefully it stays running. But yeah,
12 inches of snow is a lot different than three
Yeah.
or four.
yeah,
Especially in one day.
They got a good job. Thanks, Cody.
We had a wellness society meeting last week, discussed some new equipment. Possibly ordering here in the new year and a new lock coming for the door. Hopefully sometime soon, and that's kind of about all I got.
I don't have a lot either. My stuff was mostly canceled. Monday the second, I attended the fire rescue meeting. I was supposed to be in Wainwright on last Wednesday for East Central 911's. Like they have the 2 year. Unfortunately, that was the night of more freezing rain and just bad weather, so it was canceled. And I've heard it's being pushed to January. Thursday, December 5th, I was supposed to have an East Central ambulance meeting and ended up being canceled due to the festivities happening in Coronation. People just were not available due to parades and stuff. And on that note, I just wanted to thank the group that organized the Coronation's first Royal Christmas event downtown. It was, from what I saw, a huge success. I know just talking to Home Hardware, they figured they had over 150 kids come through to see Santa Claus. I know ATV went through at least that many hot dogs within an hour and just over an hour downtown. So yeah, and thanks to basically all the volunteers, and I know Coronation Fire Rescue came down and lit a bonfire, and then of course, big thanks to everyone that participated in the Elks Parade that evening, including the town. Thank you. Yeah, and I thought it was a great success. Yeah, that's basically all I have.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, as Cody said, Wellness Society, talking about some newer equipment and gonna have equipment that's more compact, but still good to use. Some of it we're running out of space, but might need a bigger building. And the new door locks, we had a board meeting, CCTI IF updates. Everybody's kind of moving along, but nobody, I don't think, will get it all spent by March 31st. So we're all wanting to hold a bit over. Northwest updates, of course, some of them are getting more students. It sounds like they're doing quite well. The brick updates, Caster's working quite well, and Forestburg has all their spaces are rented out. We may turn part of that back to the town of Forestburg, because they've been doing a lot of that, but we'll still be able to use out of it. Made it to Palliser Regional Municipal Services. They're holding their request for funding at last year's levels, and they have many how-to manuals on the site to assist people with planning forms and how to fill it out, so that's quite helpful. I heard Veterans Memorial Highway Association went to their meeting in the county painter's office and the lobbying about highway repairs and the website and booklet. We all heard about that sooner. They're looking at doing more. Communities in bloom. We got the Christmas tree decorated and lit up thanks to the old Goosey Place for the tree. Rooster Reynolds, Kevin Rash, Kyle Bowers, Austin Holmes, Brian Talia with his Zoom boom, or no, his Genie lift. Sorry about it. Ted and Shelley Cook, Hugh McClarty, Albert Wallner, Ron Melissa Pasoli, Janet Zimmer, Rob Tuketch, and Wendy Glazier. We're not going to forget the town crew. They smoothed out all the ruts and putting the tree stand in place and got our power hooked up. So it all worked very well. The Elks 360 for the parade, and like you said, the group that had the stuff going on, and the parade, I think, was quite well attended, and quite a few people out having a little party and had a little barbecue on their stuff.
It's quite neat to see how many
Fireplaces
people have
going
made
on
that
there.
a custom.
And you get to see a lot of the decorations, which we also are gonna be going on Sunday, 15th, between 7 and 9 for judging the Christmas lights decorations. And if you don't have many lights, we do go around earlier and look at those too, so they are all judged accordingly. Missed a handy bus meeting as I was triple booked, but they have some new rates for AHS trips, which is kind of what they're charging now. And anyone who wants to get a class 4 license, they would looking for more drivers always. And you just have to write the test and get the physical. You don't have to actually do a road test. So it's easier to do. Does anybody have any questions for anybody?
We'll move the reports.
Mark moves, accept the reports as information, all in favor? Dale report.
So I guess one of the updates that I have for council, is I have a meeting with municipal affairs tomorrow about the, community visioning session. So I'll let council know tomorrow after I have that meeting with municipal affairs. That's kind of all I have for an update on that, but they did get back to me and they wanted to meet, so.
Good.
I would assume that if anything, will probably be a January date at this point, but, we'll see. As far as things go with the CCTIIF building, they've been working on taking out the demo in the last couple of buildings here, so they're just hopefully finalizing and clean up here and completing. And I'd like to send out a big thank you to them as well. They helped put up all the Christmas decorations with their genie lift while it was here.
Oh, okay.
So we weren't able to get the other lift from League, and the League's staff were just a little bit tied up, so
Oh, that's nice.
we had the opportunity, they helped us out, so they donated.
And they get extra thanks because they did it when it was very.
I was just gonna say, it was not a very nice day with it.
I still want to say thank you to Lee, because I know that they like helped
Oh, yeah.
us with that, and I know that just timing was just not really.
Yeah, they ended up on a job, so.
Totally understandable.
So, as well as we did meet with, like I had stated earlier, met with Circular Materials, regarding the recycling program. So we were able to figure that system out, figure out the whole program and get it up, get the contracts figured out. So basically what's going to happen with that program is they're going to just take over all of the recycling portions of our cost. So we will not have to pay for that anymore. And the municipality will not need to use it in the utility rate, so we'll actually be able to eliminate that out next year. What we're working on right now is the transition piece for that, because it's gotta be including the bins. So we have to figure out, because we own the bins. So we have to figure out how that is gonna transfer over to them, because we have capital purchased, we purchased those bins are ours, so. We just need to work with that, and then we'll have to look at renegotiating our contract with E360 for garbage collection next year as well. So a couple different moving parts at the same time that we're just gonna have to be attentive to and making sure that we're getting the best out of all of it, so. Again, I also attended the BREOC meetings. We were able to get that meeting sorted out. That was a really good meeting. Us as well. We also were able to talk to CCTIF directly about the need for an extension. It sounded like every single project is gonna need an extension, so we're hoping that because all the projects are behind and they're not able to complete on the time frame, we should be able to move forward and get that extension as well. So fingers crossed. We know that Department of the has been struggling with ministers, so we'll leave it at that. Yeah, worked on interim budget, tried to provide that information to council. Like I said, we'll be providing additional information as it comes up, and as we can flex more, we'll keep council apprised to that. I did attend the Palliser Economic Partnership conference down in Medicine Hat. For their egg days, went really well. So there are some projects that are going to be in the works that are coming forward that'll be announced in the near future. That will have some smaller impacts on us, but there's some other projects in the works that may have some bigger impact on us as well. I have been in conversation with Invest in Alberta. There's been a few opportunities that have been presented to all municipalities and across Alberta that we've been trying to apply for through PEP. As well as trying to apply through with county support as well. So we're hoping that some of these projects that are kind of being pushed to the Highway 2 side are going to be pulled away from the Highway 2 and kind of brought out our areas more where they're kind of better suited with better landscapes and help create some jobs out here. So we're going to keep that battle up. And
Power, do they?
yeah, well, we're looking, every time we see these projects, it's, you know, it's $130 million project here. It's a $200 million project there. Like today, I just got another one for 320. And it's all manufacturing or recycling or something of that nature. So we're trying to be attractive in that. So we're trying to use what we have here to try to really attract them, bring that over to our side here. Instead of seeing it going other places all the time. So Invest Alberta's gotten really good at giving us a lot of heads up, so we actually got now, it's almost like a breakdown of what the project is, and then we can see if it fits our criteria or what our capacities are out here, so. Unfortunately, quite a few of them we don't get in our region just because we have limitations, but there are, every once in a while, there's a couple that sort of fit, so we try and throw our name in the hat to make sure that they come out here as a site selector and look at us as.
Yeah, well, you can only put it in and they accept who they do.
Yeah, and I mean, I gotta give it to Invest Alberta because they're being pretty fair about it. They're trying to get everyone on board now, so I'm glad that we're on their email list, so we get talked to a little bit more frequent than normal.
Was there ever, I remember at the one grade meeting, they were talking about the federal government was supposed to be sending out a form that everybody could fill out with what they had. Has anything ever come of that?
Sounds like that's still maybe coming, but I'm not sure if it was intercepted by the Ritas.
Yeah,
So I don't really know what.
Yeah, they had just said when they had somebody in New York, they've heard about this and it wasn't really anything anybody's supposed to know.
Yeah.
That was like a year and a half ago or something.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah,
I keep asking them about it and they haven't really heard, so.
if they don't know, I certainly don't know.
Well, you might, you got connections.
Well, I try. Yeah, other than that, I think for the most part, I just really want to thank the staff and the people that helped us out with that snowfall.
Absolutely.
There was a lot of work there and it was, they were grinding it out, I can tell you that. So thank you to everyone that kind of stepped up and helped with that. And thanks to the community for working with us on that, because I know that was
Mhm.
a little bit tiring, and I know it snowed again here in the last week too, so it's
Yeah, well,
back at it, but hopefully we can get through it. Again, just want to iterate that we are short staffed right now, as well as some of our staff have to take holidays as well, because they've got pre-planned holidays, so it'll be a little bit bumpy here, I know, but we're hoping we can get.
can we going forward try to have them make sure they do some of their holidays in the summer? You know, like, so we don't have, at the end of the year, they've got all their time off, and then you end up with nobody.
Especially when we only have one guy that operates a grader.
Oh, but you know, those sort of things where,
But like, that's
No,
one example,
like
like,
they have however many weeks off, if they could take half of them by the end of September, say.
Yeah, and we're working with staff to try and get that sorted out as much as we can, and
I know it's not easy to.
Well, and they have times when they want off, but I mean, you know, it'd help us out some.
no, and
Like Mark had said, thanks to the county for sending a grader and operator and
Absolutely.
that was a huge help.
town crew for all they're doing, and everybody that come along and drove truck or whatever.
Yeah.
Helps out.
No, and it goes a long way for us, so I mean, we're doing the best we can.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, like I said, 12 inches of snow, one dump, that's a big overhaul and a full week and it was cleaned up.
Right, we're not used to that.
No, we're not.
That's it for me.
And if we get used to having a foot of snow every few days, we're getting different equipment,
Yeah.
for sure. Does anybody have any more questions for Quentin?
Nope.
That information. I guess.
Accept it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
To accept it as in favor? Carried. Financial reports, 11.1 accounts payable. But I do recall there's not very much on there. Do I have any questions there?
No. I can make a motion to pay the bills.
Brett moves to pay the bills, all in favor? Okay. 11.2 revenue and expense report. Number 9.
Pretty good. See anything stood out? Make a motion to accept it.
Mark makes a motion to accept it, all in favor? Great.
Motion to go in closed session.
Mark moves to go into closed session, all in favor? Okay.